What's going on, everybody? It's Nice Pants Lance. Today is finally the day that we are testing out our little project here. We got the 1994 Yamaha Virago 535. If you've been paying attention to my channel, you'll know this has been a little project that's been going on for the last few weeks here. And we finally got it running real well now. Oil change, spark plugs, diaphragms, all that stuff. But this isn't stock. It's got debaffled pipes. It's been rejetted with 145 jets for the main jets. And let's see what else. Oh, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So just, you know, a little bit of love and some extra mods here. But yes, this is a 535cc V-twin. It's air and oil cooled. I believe it makes around 45 horsepower and about the same amount of torque. I believe that this bike doesn't weigh much more than 500 pounds, so it's a very light bike. It is carbureted. It's got dual Mikuni carbs in it with a choke. It is shaft driven, so it's kind of nice. I like shaft drive, a little bit of less maintenance. And it's got some spoked wheels here. I really like that. I like the larger diameter front spoked wheel. Kind of reminds me of the chopper style era, sort of chopper-esque. You know, this is a Yamaha bike, so if you squint your eyes and take a few steps back, you could kind of picture a baby Raider or a baby Striker, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, so we're going to take this thing for a test drive finally. Oh, I forgot to mention it's got a single disc brake in the front, and it's got drum brakes in the rear. Suspension is non-adjustable, and this thing is freaking old. It's only got 10,000 miles on it, but it's still pretty old. So we're gonna take this thing out for a ride. We're just gonna discuss a few things. Engine performance. We're gonna talk about comfort, ergonomics, suspension. We're gonna talk about appearance, and then we're gonna talk about price. If I would buy it, you know, who is this bike for? We'll also be comparing it to a few other motorcycles. This is a smaller entry-level V-twin cruiser in the United States, and this would actually be more of a mid-sized cruiser in other countries. In other countries where, you know, 125s and 250cc motorcycles are a little bit more common. But here in the States, this would be like your entry-level cruiser. So, all right, without further ado, let's fire this thing up. Turn the choke on, because this is a cold start. That sound you hear is actually a fuel pump. This is carbureted, but it does have a fuel pump, so it's kind of neat. Pump the throttle a few times. Nice. Ooh, baby. Got a nice sound to it. Who modded these exhaust pipes? Who made this bike sound so good? I don't know. I'll turn the choke down a little bit. Just enough to get it going. Sounds pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. All right, enough playing around, let's get going. This is a 5-speed. Alrighty. Whew. This is a very light bike. Third gear. Oh yeah, very light, very small. fourth gear at 35 miles an hour. Oh my goodness, did I forget to buckle my helmet strap? Oh, that's embarrassing. I haven't done that in so long. Okay. Turn that choke down a little bit more. Okay, we're back to it. My helmet is secured to my head. Okay. Alright, we're gonna make a right up here, and we're gonna talk about this bike a little bit. My first impressions of it though, after taking off on it, I am 6 feet tall. I got a 32-inch inseam, and I have to say, I like where the foot controls are for me. Kind of like where they're at, because you know, it has my leg bent at like a perfect 90-degree angle. It really gives me that seated chair position. I think I've said that before, that's my favorite seating position is that mid control, you know. The handlebars sweep back. It's got these cute little narrow beach bars on it, and you know, they don't come too far back. It has my back pretty much straight up and down, but my hands are a little bit lower than on other cruisers, so really feel contained, like I got a lot of control over the bike. These narrow handlebars definitely give it a slightly more sporty feel to it, that's for sure. Let me turn this choke off now that we got going. I don't think we need the choke anymore. So, okay, anyways, let's talk about engine and performance. So this is a 535cc V-twin. You're definitely not gonna break any land speed records. But you know, with the bigger jets in it, and you know, the debaffled pipes, it definitely feels a little bit more alive at higher speeds. I'm in fifth gear right now. I'm doing 65 down this road, and it really feels like this engine is spinning up. This engine's revving out pretty good. I mean, you don't have to worry about it. It's a Japanese V-twin. They're so reliable and hardy that, you know, they don't mind being spun up at high RPMs for long lengths of time. But this definitely doesn't feel like you're going to be hitting over 100 miles an hour, not without some further modification. Ooh, a little bit of backfire. The shifter is light. Oh man. Oh yeah, you really gotta hit it. This thing definitely likes the higher RPMs. Smaller V-twins definitely like to be spun up a little bit higher. But, yeah, I am a big boy. I do weigh like 250 pounds, 240 pounds now, and this definitely isn't gonna rock my skull back into my helmet. This gives me comfortable acceleration as a big boy. This gives me comfortable acceleration in top gear. The power on this bike is definitely nothing too extravagant. It feels just about right for a 535cc bike. This is the smallest displacement engine that I've ever tested on a cruiser. Actually, I think that's the smallest displacement engine that's really been on the channel. I hope I'm not wrong there. I think a 535cc would make it the smallest. It's fun though. Fun, you know, it's small. You can definitely have a riot under 55 miles an hour, that's for sure. But it's definitely got enough torque where you can take corners in third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, you know, long sweeping turns. You can get this thing all the way down to 30 miles an hour in top gear. It's still gently pull away. Let's see, let's do a little 0 to 60 up here. I know I haven't even talked about comfort or suspension or any of that stuff, but screw it. Let's do this thing. Let's see how much power this thing's got. Extremely brisk acceleration, I'm not gonna lie. It's a fun, quick little ripper is what it is. Man, I don't know how fast that was, but you know, when you match up the specs to some of the other bikes I've ridden, it's very, very close to like the Vulcan S650, the Suzuki Boulevard 800, the M50 rather, probably the Honda Rebel, Vulcan 900. I don't think I made a video of that, but I did get to ride a Vulcan 900 off camera. Nice, okay. So yeah, engine performance. Engine and performance wise, you know, it's definitely not much to say about it. It's just got gentle acceleration until you spin it up, and then it really gets going. I don't know how fast that 0 to 60 was, but with all the mods and stuff, it definitely felt like it was pretty quick for 535cc. I mean, it's so light that even 45 horsepower lets this thing take off pretty nice. It's got a skinny rear tire and a pretty skinny front, so this thing will rip a burnout, which is kind of cool. I like that. Let's talk about braking a little bit. So single disc front, drum rear, no ABS. I'm so used to ABS that I hate that this doesn't have ABS, but I understand. You know, at one point, no bikes had ABS. You grab a nice handful there. I mean, you would really have to have a Gorilla Grip to lock up the front. This has adequate braking ability, but yeah, you're definitely gonna Gorilla Grip it, and I feel like I gripped that brake pretty hard, and I definitely didn't lock up the front. So I assume you would have to like death grip this thing to lock up the front. Let's try the rear now. Rear's not bad, but yeah, kind of like the front. You know, I really stomped on it. And it just kind of made me come to a stop, didn't rock me forward. Not much roll, it just sort of brings you right to a stop. So if you combine the front and the rear together, that's pretty impressive braking. That's, you know, with a little bit of riding skill, you can come to a stop in a short time. Turn signal's not going on. What the hell? There we go. This seat is definitely very thick and padded. I like how comfortable it is. That's the one thing about modern bikes is they try and trim the seat down for aesthetics and, you know, weight and whatnot. But these old seats from the 90s are like literal couch cushions. So I'm very comfortable sitting on this. My butt cheeks are not getting sore. I don't feel feel like I'm sitting on a flat plank that's underneath the cushion. I feel like I'm just sitting on a cloud, which is very nice for a smaller bike. I would even argue to say this is more plush than the Vulcan S650. Yeah, this thing handles really, I don't know, for a cruiser. I mean, having these narrow beach bars on here gives it these little, man, it gives it such a flexibility to it for being a cruiser. It's really interesting. Definitely gives you a little bit more, how do I say, like almost like an alertness to it. Like it's just prepared to go any which direction you want. You can really throw this thing around. Kind of making my shoulders sore a little bit, being so narrow, and the fact that I'm a big guy, I got wide shoulders. But yeah, this thing definitely handles nice. It is way more flickable than the larger bore cruisers. This might be one of the most nimble cruisers I've ever ridden. I would say this cruiser is even more nimble than the Vulcan S. I think this has a shorter wheelbase than the Vulcan S, so yeah, I think this is the quickest handling, sharpest handling small bore cruiser I've ever ridden. I will say though, taking these turns in like third or fourth gear makes me wonder what the hell first is for. My goodness. First gear on this thing is just literally for doing burnouts. That's it. I mean, you can take off from the stop in second gear. Yeah, I would not describe this bike as being punchy. This isn't a punchy bike. It just kind of has a nice surgy middle range to it. Surging middle range, middle RPM range. Got a little peanut tank, so I don't think this thing gets more than 100 miles to the tank. But I'm sure you could do it if you really babied it. I'm sure you could get over 100 miles to the tank. But this is definitely an around town ripper for sure. Definitely a bike that you won't be taking long day trips on. You're not going to really be going out of state on this thing. I mean, I'm sure you could put saddlebags and whatnot on it, but like, do you really want to? Yeah, I would recommend this bike for someone that is a little bit more mechanically inclined. This does have carburetors, and they don't keep as well when you let them sit. That's just the sad reality of carbureted bikes, especially this one. This one took a ton of tinkering and messing around with to get it feeling right. I don't know why I shifted into first. It's useless for corners. You can go around corners in like fourth. This thing has all the fun under 55 miles an hour. So I have to admit, it does feel a little bit more stressed above 65 compared to the Vulcan S and the Suzuki Boulevard M50. Compared to the Speedmaster definitely has it over this. A lot of guys turn these into bobbers, and you know, they chop the fenders and turn them into cafe racers and bobbers and all sorts of stuff. So it's definitely a perfect bike for that. Given the price of these things, I mean, got this bike for like $1,000, so it's definitely worth it if you're looking for a little project and you don't mind tinkering on bikes. If you're a beginner, this is a perfect bike to start on, especially if you got a smaller frame. A lot of guys like myself are kind of out of this market. We need a larger bike, even if we were just beginning our riding. We would need a motorcycle more like the Vulcan S or the Boulevard. Bikes like the Speedmaster and you know, this Yamaha here are a little bit too much on the small side. Even like the Sportster 8A3, I would say, is a little bit more similar to this. As a big guy, yeah, you wouldn't be choosing this. So if you have a smaller frame, this bike is for you. Would I buy this motorcycle? Nah. I mean, to be honest with you, now that I got it in the garage and I've worked on it, if I had one, like, I actually wouldn't mind turning it into like a cafe racer or something neat like that. But I wouldn't go out of my way to look for a bike like this. Not really my style. Yeah, this is a nice bike. Nice bike. Runs really nice. It's pretty freaking quick. I mean, it does burnouts and stuff. It's a cool bike. My buddy's not his first bike, but it's gonna be like his first like good bike. And yeah. Oh, look at this. It's got a little helmet lock on it. This is a neat little bike. Neat little bike. Yeah, sounds nice. Fairly maintenance free with that shaft drive. It's adequate. It's just an adequate, nice little cruiser. Is it faster than some of the other small cruisers I've ridden? No, not really. Too slow for me. It's definitely light. It's definitely one of the most well-handling, easy to manage bikes. This is about the most seamless ride I've ever taken, really. It's one of those bikes where you can just hop on it, just sit down, real nice. You don't have to worry about flat-footing it. Yeah, I mean, suspension-wise, you're definitely not going to be taking this thing off any sweet jumps, but yeah, it's just adequate. It's just an adequate bike. Got like a little reserve tank and all that stuff. Yeah, it's just a nice little bike. Probably one of the cheapest bikes I've had in here, but that's a plus and a minus depending on how you look at it. So if you're looking for a bike that won't break the bank, that's maybe for your girlfriend, or if you're starting off riding, you're not a big fat lard like me, this would be freaking perfect. I wish I was small enough to own a bike like this and feel nice on it. I probably look like a bear on a tricycle, so I wouldn't buy this bike, but at this point, you guys get the point. So, alright, well, that's all I got to say about this bike. It was a fun ride. It's definitely going to be a great bike for the summer. My buddy Steve is going to have a blast on this thing. Oh, yeah, he's going to have a blast on this thing. Oh, I'll fiddle with the idle. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, if you want me to pick up another project bike and work on that, subscribe. Peace.